Hi, I'm Bea, a wine lover and amateur student of wine, and this is Let's Discover Wine. This video is about ranking wine areas as appellations and crus. This information is really essential to those who love European wine. You always hear about the terroir, where grapes are grown. It's the combination of many things: soil, sun, rain, wind, elevation, latitude, temperature, topography, everything that contributes to the way grapes grow in a particular area. The terroir of certain places is believed to have superior characteristics that allow that location to produce special wines. The area that grows these special areas are designated as appellations. An appellation is an area which produces similar characteristics in grape year after year. In order to maintain quality control, appellations have many rules that growers and vintners must follow. This guarantees the wine from the appellation will be consistent with its standards. The main European wine-producing countries use the appellation system. The European Union is trying to combine the different country systems into one appellation system, AOP. But most of the countries still use primarily their own appellations. There's a lower level classification system than appellation. It's IGP or PGI. It's indication geographic protected, but it has no quality control whatsoever. The IGP merely indicates the grapes came from a particular area. Most of the New World, including the US, only has the IGP classification, which is really meaningless because there are no requirements to maintain quality and no standards. In the true appellation systems of Europe, especially France, some very superior appellations are given the designation cru. The government of France plus the European Union has to approve the status of an appellation as a cru. Crus are identified by using only the name of the cru without including the name of the region. For example, Châteauneuf-du-Pape is in the area of Côte du Rhône, but you will never find it labeled as a Côte du Rhône because it is a superior cru. Not every wine area in France has officially defined crus as superior to the regional wine, but some places with crus only have one level. Other places have split their crus into two different levels, Premier Cru and Grand Cru. And right now, Alsace is begging the government to allow them to split their crus into 3 levels. Oh no, that's too many divisions. Premier Cru and Grand Cru are quite expensive. As the quality grows up, the price goes up much faster. This is because the status of owning famous bottles of wine creates demand that far outstrips supply. Crus usually cost at least double the price of the regional wine from an area, and often many, many times the price of the regional wine. Appellations are divided into sub-areas, generally with higher quality and usually much higher prices as the area gets smaller. For instance, in the map, Bordeaux is any place that's yellow on the map. On the left bank of the estuary, Médoc is colored orange on the map, and that tends to be very high quality wine. And within Médoc, some of the world's best wines are made in the village of Pauillac, which is the small red area on the map. In addition to paying much higher prices for cru wines, you also pay much more for wine from a smaller vineyard, especially when it's a cru. It's just classic supply and demand from Econ 101. If there's not enough wine for every millionaire who wants to buy it to get it, the price goes up like crazy. Quality does not appear to affect the price of a Grand Cru wine as much as the size of the vineyard, with small vineyards costing much, much more because there's not enough wine from them for everybody who wants to buy it. An extreme example of escalating prices from a small cru is DRC wine from a teeny 4.5-acre plot. It is now selling for about $25,000 a bottle, which is well over 1,000 times the price of the regional wine from that area. DRC is Domaine de la Romanée-Conti in northern Burgundy. No one would ever claim that DRC wine is 25 times as good as Bordeaux's Lafite Rothschild, which has generally been considered the best wine in the world by many people who can afford to buy that expensive wine regularly. But DRC costs about 25 times as much per bottle as Lafite, because there just isn't enough DRC for every millionaire to buy what he or she wants. So the price has risen just ridiculously high. In some places like Beaujolais, Burgundy, the Loire, and the Southern Rhone, there's another level between regional wine and the vaulted expensive wines produced by cru. These wines are called village wines, and they're usually a wonderful bargain in purchasing wine. It's usually quite a bit better, and it's often only $1 or $2 more expensive than the basic regional wine. And there have been times when I have found the village wine on sale for less money than the cheaper wine. Many of these villages that are classed as village are soon promoted to the status of a cru with an associated jump in price. So you're usually getting a superior wine at a bargain price. When they're available, I always look for the village version of a wine. When you're talking about the actual villages, it's fine to use the English word villages. But when you're talking about the special wine that is designated as village, it's normally referred to with the French term village. And of course, you don't pronounce the S at the end of a word in French. When you buy wines from a cru, premier cru, or grand cru, you're paying a surcharge for status, bragging rights. That does not apply to buying village wines, but still their terroir and sometimes processing is usually superior to average regional wines, and it's at a very small increase in price. The basic wine appellations of an area are the regional wines. Wines designated by the regional name plus the word village attached are usually better in quality without much of a premium in price. They tend to be the bargains of the wine world. Wines from a cru, including premier cru and grand cru, are considered better quality, they're often more oaked, and they are usually quite a bit more expensive. The appellations and crus discussed in this video apply to all of France and to some neighboring countries, except Bordeaux, which has at least 8 different types of political wine classifications. There's a link in the description below to a discussion of the problems in Bordeaux's many classifications of wine. There's a second part to this video, a trivia game to reinforce the ideas that we just discussed. You might want to play the trivia game, then refer back to this video if you miss any questions.